Oh, and they are just pushing. Now you've got ATGMs coming in from the ZBL. The CTC decides just to run right into the Abrams. Looks like we got an engine tank now. Abrams is engined. And the ZTC is tracked. And the Abrams loses the fight. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another recap from Friday Night Fights. This is featuring the US Marine Corps against the People's Liberation Army, and they are both going to be operating with their motorized battle groups, featuring 4 LAV-25s going against 3 ZBLs, all on Manicouagan Advanced and Secure version 2. We'll have the USMC spawning in the southeast while the PLA spawns in the northwest. It's a 7 objective layer with fire-based Boris being the mid cap. Now, regardless of where the caps are, you got to get across the river on Manicouagan, or you're going to be playing more of a defensive battle for both sides. It's even more important because fire-based Boris is a defensible position, and whoever makes it there first and controls it is going to have an advantage in holding it. Now, we'll be on the side of the PLA for this round, and we're going to start off at the rollout. But first, hit the subscribe button so you get more updates on Friday Night Fights. Leave a like, drop a comment down below with your thoughts on the video, and let's dive right in. All right, here we go. We've got a couple of groups moving in. I heard KOF saying that they were going to be more of a QRF force, quick reaction force. We've got plenty of EP, TWS, GMG, SQC, DS, Echo, UNN, GMG, I think I already said, KOF. Oh, it's just so many folks. Appreciate all of you being here and being a part of the event. As you can see, we've already got a TWS squad pushing onto Firebase. They know this is going to be a hot objective. If you get here first, it's very tough to take because you do have defenses set up. Meanwhile, you have USMC side setting up on Bay Como, locking this area down, probably anticipating some form of rush, but it looks like instead of pushing through here, PLA has decided to just cover the northern side, unless 13 and 9... We got some shots fired. Oh, KOF was actually trying to sneak in here. We got the Humvee lighting up that push. LAVs responding as well. They have a whole bunch hanging out down here, but that is not an objective. I think I would have rather seen this group push up to Firebase and challenge that early, because now you have to get over here, and they already have both of their ZBLs hanging out. We got a squad 4 now on this eastern side, northeastern side of the river that is going to be sneaking up, I would imagine, slowly but surely. Ooh, we have an engagement by the LAV-25s. It doesn't look like the ZBLs are going to move or take the bait. They're going to stay positioned. We have one LAV-25 more north here on Power Station. They have infantry pushing in. They've already proxied ahead. They have an LAV-25 hanging out, sneaking into Power Station, and they are not in a position to start capping yet because they are waiting on underground dam outlet to get capped first. LAV-25 is going to be a nuisance to deal with back here. 2 ZBLs are now going to start moving north to deal with the LAV-25, it appears. Oh, we got infantry pushing into Firebase pretty late. That's going to be a sketchy drop-off. Looks like that has been diffused. You still have a group now that is sort of in control of the area here for USMC. They do have a radio basically hostage at the moment. ZBLs are now dealing with the LAV here. They're going to team up against this. Oh, engined LAV-25. It is now pretty much immobile, and boom. LAV-25 is destroyed by the wolf pack of ZBLs. Let's check on the radio condition.
You have another lab to your east up on the road, shooting the heli. 13-6, enemies on radio.
Did they not go? Oh, the hat is here.
We're on the way as well. 12's on the way.
Gets the shot off. ZBL is now on fire. AT might be killed. There's also somebody up here. What is he? That is the squad leader, noted by the antenna. Pixel is trying to fix the ZBL to get it out to get it RTB. It doesn't look like there's any immediate threat to it currently. They are capping power stations, so that is not going to be a problem. This is where it becomes hard for the USMC to push onto Firebase. It also sounds like they're calling for the radio to go ahead and just be dug down so that that's not a concern about tickets later, although there is still a squad lead hanging out up here. It's like 12 is actually moving up to help with the radio situation at power station. You have squad 4, squad 2 are still trying to hold Firebase with some light infantry pushing in, trying to cross the river. That is going to be a tough push because you are walking across a land bridge.
Power station, Captain, then we can get Firebase.
It does look like the Humvee might have taken a shot or almost got hit by a lat shot. Really think the best option would be to attack more so from the hill back here in G7. LAV-25 destroyed. I think that means 2 LAV-25s out of 4 are dead. They still have 1 in main. You still have squad 1 firing on another LAV. Are they going to get 2? They're backing up. Are they burning? Oh, they are burning. They need to get out and repair. Oh, no, the vehicle bumps him. They both probably need to repair at this stage. Try to get that vehicle operational and get it out. And it pops. Another LAV-25 wiped. That means 3 are now dead. USMC is going to be low on armor. You have USMC setting down a scary radio, getting their hab up. And it looks like the PLA already know what's happening. Or at least have some idea of the presence. They can see the hab. Infantry is now responding to this hab, spreading out a little bit, trying to get some pressure on it. Although you do have a pretty hefty respawn happening on the hab. That's going to slow down PLA's ability to push it. ZBL is going to run security here. It looks like you had a couple USMC actually be able to sneak into Firebase, disrupting the mortars. This radio is super susceptible to the PLA now. I think they have the hab disabled. They do. It is proxied. USMC can no longer spawn here, and they are on the radio almost instantly after that. USMC is almost completely wiped near this hab. And you have plenty of infantry to the north of the radio to come assist if necessary. And technically, you have a Logi now stranded. I just heard a call for all LEVs are now destroyed. We do have the enemy Abrams moving out of main now. There is 1 LAV-25 still alive, actually. You do have some infantry. They are, like, USMC is getting infantry into some sneaky places to cause pressure. Oh, those are really accurate mortars right on the objective. Now the infantry's pushing in behind the mortars, or under the cover of the mortars. They may be able to start applying pressure at this point. You do have infantry from PLA now reacting to the objective itself, along with the ZBL. And remember, the USMC needs to be careful with their armor. They don't want to send too much up because they only have 1 LAV-25 still alive. Looks like we have 1 LAV-25 left that is now sitting up here on the hill, trying to provide some fire support, but it takes a rocket. Was that an ATGM from the ZBL? What a shot. They're still in contact. LAV-25 probably wants to get out, live another day, get a repair off, go RTB and repair. It is burning. They need to get that repair going. Firebase still getting hammered by mortars, but they have plenty of infantry here. Them being PLA to hold this position. USMC still has some scattered infantry, just applying a little bit of pressure. Both ZBLs are here now, holding this place down. It is currently 280 tickets to 205 in favor of PLA. Oh, we got a rocket strike coming in. Taking out the mortars. I love it. Taking down the mortars with the airstrike. Beautiful. PLA has pretty strong control over firebase. This is going to require a lot of firepower to clear this area. The mortars were doing good at keeping the infantry scattered, but now you just got so much going on here. Oh, KOF doing a mech infantry drop. They're probably going to get a rally down. They might start applying pressure to this radio here. We've got another airstrike coming in. F-18. Smacking firebase. They have their mortars back up, being the USMC. They have now counter-mortared onto firebase, so their mortars are back up and operational. We are currently at a little bit of a stalemate. We have tickets are 274 in favor of PLA to USMC's 191. And we have a mech infantry drop basically back here off the ZSL. Yeah, they're trying to figure out where the radio might be. They know there's tubes there. Is there a hab there is the question. There is, from our perspective. They aren't sure of it. Looks like it is tucked away in one of the buildings. It is half and half. It's out just a little bit, hanging out near the radio. You do have infantry moving out from the USMC side over here to the western side of the river to start maybe backlining or set a little bit of control, maybe slowing down logistics into firebase. There's the PLA ZTZ now moving in. I think they had RTB from hitting mines early, but now they are en route to the fight. Oh, the Abrams, not at all where I expected them to be. They are in the back line of PLA, moving. M1 to A1 now coming down the hill. Are they going to be able to catch up to maybe the ZBL for Squad 6? ZTZ is moving across the river, so currently there's enough distance between these two. They do not see each other, plus obviously the natural obstacles on the map. Does the ZBL hear him yet? Oh, they do. Are they going to be able to get a shot off? Turn a little bit more left, tank. Oh, right past it. Just missed. The ATGM just missed from the ZBL. All right, now the Abrams is in the mix with some infantry to help protect it.
My guy has eyes on Abrams. Get ready for mark.
Is the ZBL moving off? It's on the coastline. Oh, the ZTZ's coming back for a fight. They also have the ZBL covering. They do. The ZBL is dealing with the infantry while the tank moves up to engage the Abrams. Let's see if the Abrams are going to be able to see through this bridge and hit the ZTZ. Oh, he's got to know it's on the way, right? He knows it's on the way. ZTZ is looking. The ZTZ is a tough tank. Oh, first shot. I don't know if that bounced. That might have just bounced right off the top of the turret. Oh, and they are just pushing. Now you've got ATGMs coming in from the ZBL. The ZTZ decides just to run right into the Abrams. Looks like we got an engine tank now. Abrams is engined. And the ZTZ is tracked. And the Abrams loses the fight. But the ZTZ does take a lat shot. You got infantry all around the ZTZ currently. I don't know if they have the firepower to take out the ZTZ, but it is damaged and it is stranded. Looks like the ZBL is going to come up to try to support it, slow down some of the infantry. Looks like the tank might be down to one crewman now. They've had two get out to try to repair to get the tracks back up. It just took another shot. It's now double tracked. It looks like the ZSL push on the southern side of Bacomo has been squashed in the process of watching some of the other fights. You have 2 LAV-25s, and it looks like a Humvee now pushing down there towards Squad 1's rally all the way down here. Meanwhile, you've got 2 ZBLs trying to protect Squad 5's tank, the ZTZ, trying to keep it up, but the tank is beat up a little bit. 2 LAV-25s down here now, squashing that push. They still have, PLA still has control of Firebase Alpha. There's no threat currently in place to take this that is pretty much locked down. It does look like we now have a push. ZBLs are still trying to fight off the infantry. I want to see if they're able to get the tank out of here. They need someone to repair it. Looks like they do have someone out of the ZBL. Aeon's now repairing it for Invixity, trying to get it back up and running so they get the tank out. Most of the infantry has been squashed. There's maybe 1 or 2 alive still. Now we have the PLA doing a flank on the far side of Bay Como Central, trying to apply pressure to a radio that they have found in the back line. This would make Bay Como Central susceptible to a push by the PLA, but there is an LAV-25 responding. So the ZTZ is now mobile, likely to get out. You do still have some enemy infantry up here near the tank. The ZTZ might live to see another day. They're trying to leave. The mortars are now coming in to hit the ZTZ, but it has moved. So Firebase Alpha is not something the USMC is really going to be able to push right now. They now need to try to start protecting Bay Como Central. And as you can see, there's a strong push attacking this radio. There's some counterattack going, and they do have LAV-25s in the area. One might have hit mines. So yeah, it looks like they are responding to try to save the radio.
To the west via these 2 arrows. So that's their trajectory of attack right now. Yeah, we have enemy radio on bleed on.
And that radio has bled out. That gives a huge advantage over to the PLA. It is now 235 to 87. Urso calling out an enemy hab right there. The hab we saw earlier is now being marked for mortars or to push. It is 234 to 69. USMC taking some big losses currently. You still have enemy infantry, or sorry, USMC infantry hanging out here on the western side of the river, trying to control the bridges, slowing down logistics, making it difficult for PLA to refill. But a lot of the PLA have moved off of Firebase. They're now applying pressure over here on the southern side, trying to get closer to Bay Como Central. If you take Bay Como Central at this point, this game is pretty much locked in. But the LAV-25s are trying to slow down the infantry. I just don't think... So the squad that we saw, the USMC squad we saw on the western side of the river, is now pushing in on the northwest side of Firebase Boris, trying to apply some pressure to this point. It's 220 to 64. Let's say they were able to wipe this, take the radio, and get the cap. That would give them 60 tickets, and with the radio going down, PLA would lose 20. Then you make it a little bit more of a ball game, but that is a tough ask without some armor support and a little bit more firepower. And right now, USMC is just trying to make sure that they hold on to Bay Como Central and don't give up more tickets by letting PLA cap Bay Como Central. And you have a decent amount of infantry now making progress on 2 different spots, pushing towards Bay Como Central, outnumbering USMC's current defensive group. Oh, Humvee taking a couple of shots, it looks like. At least one hit it. They need an LAV-25 over here quickly to slow down some of this push, because it is going to get really hairy soon. The Humvee taking another shot. It is gone. Humvee was trying to get into cover, and it just gets smacked on its way out. RWS destroyed. It's another 5 tickets lost. You just have a lot of numbers pushing on Bay Como Central, and currently the hab for the USMC's a little bit off of point, which is fine, but it's going to slow. It's going to be tough to respond to what's happening, especially as you have a couple of PLA folks scoping out the hab and potentially radio soon. And there's the artillery striking Firebase Boris. This is the most susceptible the point has been, but there's just not enough, I don't think, to actually take the cap. It's 211 to 53 in favor of PLA. And unfortunately, the push is down to maybe just a couple of guys trying to get up the hill here to Firebase. That is a tall order to get inside of these walls, again, in a fortified position. F11 radio's been called, so those couple of folks sneaking up to the hab, checking it out. They are now on the hab. It is currently proxy. This disables the defensive spawn near the objective for USMC. They still have this hab a little bit more to the north. USMC is getting a little bit spread out with how they're able to maintain and hold their points, but they do have an LAV-25 trying to help. It is now burning. He needs to stop, get out, and try to get that repaired as quickly as possible. Another LAV-25 has come to respond closer to the objective. USMC was able to hold off a pretty strong push onto the objective. This could be a tough area to push. If you come from this side, you have to cross the street. Pretty much any direction. So if you're able to fill in these buildings, just hanging out and slow folks down, pick them off as they attack, you can kind of hold this, especially if you get 1 or 2 armored vehicles over here just to help out. It's gonna be tough to deal with. I assume they were able to keep the LAV-25 up, and they are trying to do whatever they can to slow down this attack on this radio, but it is gone. It is now 190 to 22. USMC having a tough time dealing with some of the radio losses and lack of objective capture. They really needed Firebase Boris earlier. That would have probably balanced this out a little bit in terms of the ticket count. It is now 188 to 14 in favor of PLA. They have held Firebase Boris. They pushed this early to try to get control. You do have USMC trying to make a last-ditch effort and clear this objective. They still have their hab operational. You do have some infantry starting to make progress towards the walls. But that is a tall order, again, to try to attack this point this late without proper armor support. Down to 185 to 8 in favor of PLA. And PLA is now taking Bacomo Central.
We got 2 chevrons on Bacomo right now.
It looks like they've got at least 1 LAV-25 out and about. Did they just hit mines? Possibly just hit mines to cut them off. I don't see the enemy tank currently at play.
Let's go.
So we got PLA winning 183 to 0. Squads are going to be balanced a little bit moving into the next round. If we take a look at the scoreboard, PLA did outkill the USMC by about 40 kills. And PLA also outkilled in vehicles 14 to 6, which I don't think is a big surprise based on what we saw. If we take a look at the timeline, you'll see where the disparity started based on the LAV-25s going down, followed by a radio. That's 50 tickets and assets. Obviously, the later radios didn't help, but by then the disparity had grown pretty large. It was going to be really important for both teams to try to attack early on the position of Firebase, the mid cap, to try to get a position there, or else you're just sort of fighting against a defensible position. It's not fun to have to do that, and it can get harder and harder to set up the later the game goes because the other team is just going to start spreading out to defend. From the detail perspective, you can see that the USMC lost a total of 3 radios, equaling 60 tickets plus 115 in vehicles. If we take a look at the detail screen, you can get a better idea and sense of the disparity in tickets. I mean, 115 tickets in vehicles plus 60 tickets in radios lost. Whereas the PLA did not lose any radios and only lost 45 tickets worth of vehicles. Now that's a wrap on Manicouagan PLA versus USMC. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, leave a like, drop a comment down below with your thoughts, and obviously stay tuned for more information on the next Friday night fights.